Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by living legend, I think it's fair to say, two-weight world champion Ricky Hatton, MBE. How you doing?
Yeah, doing great. Keeping busy. Been in the gym, just in the gym now as we speak. Just finishing training with the lads. Got a lad boxing this weekend. Brett McGinty has his second pro fight on the Mechanics' show in Coventry. So it's been a busy week for me, yeah. But looking forward to it. The shows are picking up now, mate. It's good.
I guess we'll be catching up with you again later in the week. We've got someone in the bubble for that Coventry show, so we look forward to seeing Brett McGinty in action on the undercard. I wanted to talk to you a little bit, first of all, about Campbell, your son, of course. He's, 2 fights into that pro career now. Under the spotlight, just as you were early in your pro career, how do you think he's handling it and adapting so far?
I think he coped a lot better in his last fight. I think, to be honest with you, even though I had a big amateur pedigree, if you like, of national titles and boxing for England, on most levels, I never had a build-up like Campbell. that was some build-up, and I ain't complaining. I think the build-up that Matchroom have given him and Sky have given him has been absolutely first class. But I think for somebody that I only had 20 odd amateur fights, still only 20 years of age, very inexperienced. When you look at it in comparison to me, who had 75 fights and won all them national titles, he's never had a microphone shoved under his chin. Do you know what I mean? And they had a brilliant documentary on in the midweek, Blue Moon Rising. And then he was on Good Morning Britain, on the morning of the fight. And I think it just all got to him. I think it just showed on his performance. He had a great build-up, big ring walk entrance, everything like that. And I think he just used up a lot of nervous energy, wasting a lot of silly shots, which he normally wouldn't do. And I don't think it was a bad performance. I think he showed in his debut, I think he showed glimpses of what he's capable of. But I think everything was a little bit too bullet of a gate. He was panicking. I think the whole occasion got to him. And I think in his second pro fight, he showed a lot more about what he's got, a lot more composure, keeping his shape, using his jab. But it's going to be a long road. It's an exciting one. I think it's going to be an exciting one for all of us. But slowly, baby steps. But he's improving all the time in the gym. But that pro debut was just a tough one for him because of the build-up. You know what I mean? There's something he's not used to, out of his comfort zone. But second fight, he showed a lot more what he's got. I think everyone will agree. Yeah.
What advice have you given him about the extra level of attention he's going to get, not just being your son, but also being on quite big Sky at the moment, Sky box office and Sky regular bills?
Well, I said, listen, son, the sooner you get used to it, get used to the big stage and fighting on the big stages, the more you do it, the better you're going to cope with it, to be honest with you. So that's why I'm not complaining about it. If he wants to get to the top, which is where we're hoping he's going to go, he's got to get used to being interviewed. He's got to get used for the big ring walk. He's got to get used to that. For the sooner that he gets used to it, the better for me. But I just turn around and say, listen, you've got to take, every fight as it goes. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. As long as you have a bit of a tricky debut, or there's going to be few speed bumps here and there. As long as you take it on board, learn from it, and you move on, you'll get there in the end. I mean, it's like the likes of he's some of his heroes in the likes of Anthony Crawler. You know what I mean? When I promoted Anthony, he lost the 6th rounder, then he lost the British title fight to Derry Matthews. But he took them experiences on board, learned from it, and he ended up winning a world title, fighting some of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. And Matthew, likewise, he lost a couple of 6th rounders early doors, but he ended up winning the European title and ended up going the distance with Canelo Alvarez. Mm-hmm. So, it's you're going to have these little speed bumps. Just don't be worried. Don't listen to for every person who wants to get behind you and support you, there's got to be 5, 6, 7 that want to knock you because of the name. I said, listen, you just got to take each fight as it comes, and just, if you have a good performance or a few speed bumps or a bad performance, take it all on board and move on. And it's all about learning at this thing. This is his apprenticeship, the top and bottom of it is. And, in your apprenticeship, that's what it's all about, learning.
It's been reported that Matchroom UK fighters are going to be moving from Sky Sports to DAZN. That hasn't yet been confirmed by Matchroom. When you were talking to Campbell and Eddie about signing for Matchroom, did you have an inkling that might be the case?
I haven't. No, that's not been. That's news to me. I haven't heard that's happening. If it does happen, I mean, I know that we signed with Matchroom Sports, Matchroom Boxing, and Campbell's in more than good hands. With the team he's got behind him. I mean, he's got myself. Manages him, Matthew training him, Matchroom behind him. He's got good people there to advise him, and something like that. If that what will happen there. There's nothing we can do about it. All we do is keep faith in the management team we've signed with. And obviously, Matchroom Boxing is going from strength to strength. And whatever happens in the future as far as the TV thing, I think Campbell will still get a top plug-in and top viewing. Yeah.
Good stuff. Now, this weekend, there's obviously a huge undisputed title fight taking place in your old 140-pound division. Just before we talk about the fight specifically, how frustrating was it for you that you were never able to unify all 4 major belts? Because you were close on a couple of occasions, but just boxing politics seemed to get in the way.
Yeah, well, it was, Kostya beat Zabjuda to win all the belts, to be honest with you. But then when I eventually got my shot against Kostya, even though he was still universally recognised as the number 1, he'd let go of a few of his belts. He let go of the WBA, let go of the WBC. So ultimately, I didn't get the chance to have the whole repertoire, if you like, all the belts with me. But I think deep down, everyone knew that Kostya was the man in the division, you know what I mean? And he never lost his belts in the ring. He just vacated them, you know what I mean? Which is sadly, I didn't get, there was a couple there I wasn't able to get my hands on. But I mean, everybody knew that Kostya was the man, you know what I mean? And he was up there, right, the pound for pound rankings. Everybody knew the task that was in front of me against Kostya. So, I mean, ultimately, it would have been nice to have had the 3 belts, but unfortunately, I got the 1. But I didn't do bad from there on in. Do you know what I mean? I went on and won the WBA welterweight title.
Yeah.
Against
welterweight, sorry, against Glasgow.
Yeah, and then the WBA off Mauser, and then the WBA off Glasgow. Then I won the IBF again. So I didn't. Everybody knew that I beat Kostya. That whoever won that fight was going to be the man at 140. And just like with Ramirez and Taylor, whoever wins that, they're going to know the man. They just might have a few more belts than I did.
Taylor's obviously British. Ramirez maybe has more in common with you stylistically. How do you see that one panning out?
It's a very, very even fight for me, aren't they? They're both unbeaten. They're both decent punchers. They have a win over Victor Postel, don't they? Which Victor Postel, I think Ramirez won on a split. Taylor won on a unanimous. But having said that, when you think Ramirez is a little bit of a scrapper type, isn't he? Where Josh Taylor is a boxer. That's where we probably got the unanimous decision. So, but I mean, he has a good win over what's his kid who beat Terry Flanagan, Maurice Hooker.
Yeah,
and a good stoppage win over that. So obviously he's a very, very dangerous fighter, goes without saying. I think it's a real 50-50 fight. Similar records, Ramirez obviously had a few more fights, but no, I think it's a real 50-50, to be honest with you. And let's hope Josh can do the business, yeah.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. And will you be tuning in for the fight?
This Saturday, isn't it? So hopefully it will be. Yeah. What time has it been shown on again?
I think they're saying it's starting early, so maybe about 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Right, yeah, I'll probably be looking out for that. Obviously, I'm in Coventry with Brett McGinty, but I'm sure we can find somewhere to watch it on. I mean, when it comes to world title fights, very rarely these days do you have every single belt on the line. So it's a massive fight, and I'll definitely find a screen to watch it. And I wish Josh all the best. I hope he brings them home, obviously to Scotland, but obviously to Great Britain. Yeah.
Great stuff. Ricky, I really appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure catching up with you. And
My pleasure, Danny.
Best of luck at the weekend with Brett.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Speak to you soon.
Take care.